seventh episode begins as one of Monty's industrialist friends named Danny Blanton offered him a deal, according to which Monty's company can drill more wells on his leased land, and in return, Monty just needs to share 40% of the return. In Phase 1, they had planned to drill some 54 wells, which, according to their research, could produce 200 barrels. However, the main issue here was that none of the banks in the country were ready to fund the refineries anymore, and Danny wanted Monty to invest in the project. However, confirming the deal, Monty first decided to consult Tommy about it, where the latter told him that the entire valley was covered with smugglers, and it was going to be a huge task to make any profits working in such risky territory. They'll have to incur extra expenses on fencing and security that will increase the production cost per well up to $750 per barrel. In short, Tommy told his boss that the job itself is not impossible, but making any profits out of it is. Well, Monty just heard what he wanted to hear and decided to put in his $300 million into the deal. However, before signing the deal, he told Danny that he would keep 100% of the production until he had recovered the cost, and 70% for 12 months after that. Finally, when in perpetuity, he would keep 65% of the production, and Danny could keep the rest. It was obvious that Danny wasn't happy with the offer, but he didn't have any other option but to agree to Monty's terms. In Landman Episode 7, Ainsley finally found some friends her own age to hang around. During the night party, she met a guy named Ryder Sampson, who was a quarterback. Well, Ainsley did find him attractive, especially because he played football, and therefore decided to spend some time with him. While sitting in the back of his truck, Ainsley told Ryder that she would be getting a degree in philanthropy from university. She wanted to help her future husband, who would be an NFL quarterback, to evade taxes. So I am sure the showmakers wanted to make Ainsley sound as stupid as they can, but here, someone really crossed the line. Anyway, before anything could happen between Ainsley and Ryder, Angela, who had set a tracker on her daughter's phone, asked a snoring Tommy to get into his truck and bring their daughter home. Tommy quickly arrived at the spot and interrupted the two lovebirds. Though Ainsley made sure that she was going to see Ryder again, so we can hope to see them together again in the upcoming episodes. In the previous episode, the Cartel men had threatened Tommy that they wouldn't let him carry out his business until and unless he and his boss had paid back the money they lost in the stolen airplane accident. In Episode 7, another batch of Cartel men arrived near the oil well and asked Tommy to pay them before MTEX or its men drilled another hole in the land. Tommy knew something like this was going to happen, which was why he had asked Boss to put some gun-wielding gangsters on the team so that they could give the cartel a taste of their own medicine. But even though Tommy had dealt with the situation for the time being, it seemed like someone had been keeping a close watch on Tommy and his daughter. And if I am not wrong, then they are going to abduct Ainsley, just like they had picked up Tommy in the first episode. They knew that Tommy was a tough nut to crack, but when he would see a threat to his family, he would really get the message that he was acting tough in front of the wrong men here. In the previous episode, Tommy had already mentioned to Dale that his children weren't safe with him, and Ainsley's kidnapping would solidify his concerns. As soon as Cooper got discharged from the hospital, Ariana decided to bring him to her own house, maybe as some sort of atonement, as she blamed herself for Cooper's condition. Also, she had been feeling quite alone after her husband's death and wanted someone to be around to make her feel safe, which does sound like a more concrete reason to bring Cooper home. The next day, Rebecca and Nathan paid a visit to Ariana as she still hadn't signed MTEX's bereavement offer. The thing is, Rebecca had been trying quite hard to settle the matter as soon as possible so she could leave the city and go back. Except for Ariana, everyone had taken the offer, but Rebecca refused to sign as she believed MTEX Oil could be responsible for her husband's death and therefore wanted to consult with Cooper before making any decisions. And here he was, Cooper, sitting beside Ariana, and Rebecca could very well see what was happening between them. I guess the way Rebecca asked Cooper for his last name suggested that she thought something sinister was going on in her mind. I mean, she obviously figured out that Cooper is Tommy's son, and the latter works for the same company against which his son's girlfriend is planning to bring legal action. Furthermore, Rebecca was aware of the fact that Cooper was present when the three Medinas lost their lives, which, in a way, means it's quite easy for Rebecca to pin all the blame on Cooper and hold him responsible for the Medina's death, just like the rest of the patch. I guess Rebecca is going to use Copper to force Ariana to sign the bereavement offer, and the widowed mother, who had already been feeling guilty for Cooper's plight, might sign the papers without any further ado.